Hello and welcome to the latest episode of How to Draw Awesome Animals with your friends at Peppermint Narwhal. This is the video series where we teach how to draw animals in a fun and simple way while sharing facts about the species as we go along. So today's animal is a fun one, and we've selected the adorable koala as the animal that we'll be drawing today. Now, koalas are super popular animals, and many of you out there probably already know that they're a special type of mammal called marsupials. In the previous episode of this series, if you didn't see it, check it out, we did the platypus. And the platypus is another unique type of mammal, and that mammal would fall into the category of monotremes, egg-laying mammals. So we'll talk a little bit about what makes marsupials very interesting, and we'll go ahead and just go through the regular things that we give you here when we share an animal on our drawing exercise. And the animal's common name, of course, is the koala. Below that, you see its scientific name as listed in the parentheses, and then we have its unfortunate conservation status is again another animal that we've got to do some work on. And as you have seen from this series, and really a trend across the world, many animals are threatened with extinction. So at least at the time of the recording of this video, the koala is vulnerable, and we've got some conservation work to do. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way so we can get started with our drawing. And again, pencil and paper is how I'll be proceeding. So to do this drawing here, we're going to start right about in the middle here. And right about here, we'll put 3 dots, just like that. And again, if you've been on this video series, you know what I'm doing when I start off with 3 dots. It's going to be a curved line. If you're new to the video series, we kind of use this connect the dot method, but 3 dots for a curved line, 2 dots for a straight line. So 2 dots, very similar to how you do your normal connect the dots. But we do 3 because we want that middle dot to be the arch of our curve. So there we go. We've got just a subtle curve there. To start off our drawing. Okay, so that looks pretty good. We're going to leave that up there for a little bit and then come over to this side, just right below that, not connecting those. And then we'll start with another kind of curved line. So I've got 3 more dots here on this side. There we go, just like that, looks pretty good. And then I'm going to go on the opposite side here. Again, 3 dots. And we'll go ahead and connect those just like we did before. Okay, that looks pretty good. And now for the bottom part, we're going to put a dot right in the middle, and we're going to use those 2 other dots that we already have at the ends and just sort of connect those. That's really giving us this sort of head that we're starting to work on here. So we'll go ahead and put the ears on, and to do that, we're going to just go a dot right off the inside there, and we're just going to put a dot here and a dot here. And koalas have quite big ears. They're very furry, so they're maybe a little deceptively, even exaggeratedly bigger because there's so much hair on them, and their fuzzy ears make them look even bigger than they are, but they have a decent sized ear. So we'll go ahead and now on the bottom side of this, we'll come back, put a dot over here, and a dot over here, and a dot over here, and just sort of make a curved line there. Now, I didn't connect these yet, and to do that, I'm actually just gonna do something sort of like to show those hairs. We're just going to make these sort of zigzaggy V shapes and kind of use that to complete this line. So it's not going to be it'll take too long to do it with dots, so we'll just kind of do it fast. You can watch me do it and then do it yourself. But basically I'm just kind of giving some V shape, almost like icicles or leaves shapes there to sort of complete that. So that looks pretty good. We'll go back to the other side and start that going on this opposite ear. Essentially you're going to kind of mirror this in a way, so we're just sort of making that same sort of round ear that we did on the other side. So again, 3 dots on the bottom, kind of get that big ear on that side. And then again, we'll just sort of, from the top, just kind of give it some jaggedy sort of hairs there. And that looks pretty good. Very nice. All right, so now we're going to put on their nose. Their nose is very distinct and very interesting. Sort of a big oblong nose. So we'll put a dot at the top of the nose here. That's going to be the nose here, and then we'll put a dot on either side and just make a short curved line. That's going to be the top of the nose. Now from there, this nose kind of is pretty long, so we'll put 2 dots on either side, and this time we're just going to connect those dots to the top parts of the line just like that, kind of extend that down. And then we'll put a rounded sort of shape at the bottom, just like we did at the top. So we'll put a dot in the middle and then just sort of connect those nicely. And that looks pretty good. So there we've got that sort of, big sort of oblong nose. Put a couple nostrils on here at the bottom, just making some ovals just like that. It looks pretty good. And then we'll go ahead and put some eyes on this guy. So they have little eyes. We'll just give little ovals on either side, just like about there at the top of the nose. And then, as you know, I'll usually color those in for the most part, except for a little bit, leaving a little white to make those highlights. And that looks pretty good. All right, that looks pretty good. We've got the koala face starting to come into focus. We're gonna make this a nice happy animal here. So we'll put basically I'm gonna make this sort of U shape right at the bottom for one side of the nose, the mouth, and then the other side. So you might just wanna watch me do that. Just a nice curving U shape there. And then another one right on the other side. And there we go, he's got a nice happy face now with that smile there. We like happy animals here on Peppermint Narwhal. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put the inner ears on this. First, we're gonna come to this point here where we have, and I'm just gonna make almost like drawing blades of grass. Again, similar to how we did the top there. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you see those blades of grass or just, you know, the inner fuzz of the ear. So there we go. And then now I'm just gonna sort of, from the inside of the ear, I'm gonna put 3 dots there at the top, kind of curve it around. Go on this side, do the same thing, 3 dots there, curve it around. And then from the bottom side, 3 dots there, curve it around. And same thing on this side, 3 dots, curve it around. And then I can just sort of bring those together with a nice straight line there. And there we go, that's a nice looking koala face there. He looks pretty cute. So now we're going to go ahead and put the back of the koala on. So the koala is gonna have a dot right about there on this side of the head, and then we'll put a dot right about here, and another dot maybe right about there. So there we go, just kind of connect those with a nice curved line, and that looks pretty good. So now we're gonna continue this down. So put a dot here, and a dot there. Oops, there's a dog in the background. And we'll just kind of get that nice curved line there. So that looks pretty good. We're starting the underside of the animal. So let's go ahead. We're gonna have this koala. Of course, koalas are arboreal, so they're highly, spend a lot of time in their trees. So that's why they're called arboreal. They're tree-dwelling animals. Most of the time they do come down and walk on the ground, but only to usually move to another tree or find another friend. So we'll go ahead and put the hands on this, front legs on this guy, or the hands, whatever you want to sort of call them there. So I got 3 dots there, and just kind of subtle curved line that's kind of going up just like that. And we'll work on the foreleg first. So we'll go ahead and now put a dot down here, a dot down here, and a dot down there. And there you go, another one there. So again, as we know, we talked about this in the beginning of this, that these guys are marsupials, and that's a very interesting type of mammal, and that they have a pouch, and the baby is born almost premature, almost like a preemie, and then the little baby animal actually crawls up the mother and then into the pouch. So even though they're so young and underdeveloped, they're still able to do that amazing feat of crawling up into the pouch themselves. It's not like the mom picks them up and tosses them in there. So that's a pretty fascinating feat for such a little, such a little embryo-like animal. All right, so we'll go ahead and put this hind leg on here. So we'll put a dot here, and a dot there, and we're gonna have a big arch, and that way we're gonna kind of get that bending around so that we can get it, touching the tree here. We're gonna be drawing a little bit of a branch here. All right, so koala foot, let's go ahead and put the hands on. We'll talk about their hands. They have very fascinating, interesting hands. So to do this, you might just wanna watch me draw. I'm gonna draw their first 2 digits, almost like they have sort of 2 of the digits that work almost like we would have a double thumb. So let me show you that by drawing it. So we're just gonna make like this U shape here. Very simple little digit, and I'll put another one kind of like that. There we go. And those would be those sort of 2 sort of thumb-like digits, and they have little claws on them, so maybe I'll add a dark little claw, just sort of curving claw-like shape there. That looks pretty good. And now we're going to do, they have 3 digits, so they have just like us 5 digits, but they're very different arrangement. Imagine if your index finger kind of moved where your thumb is, that would sort of give you a better feel for how that looks like 2 opposing fingers and then 3 others at the other side. So we'll go ahead and draw those other 3. I'm gonna make them kind of clinging to the branch here. So I'm just gonna kind of draw them out, almost like a straight line here, and I'm curving it at the end. Straight line, curve, straight line, curve, and I'll bring that all back. So there's my nice, very distinctly unique hand of the koala. And you won't really see our claw, it'll be kind of in this side gripping the tree branch that we're going to draw now, or eventually, but you know, there we go, we've got that on there. So now we're going to put its hind foot on here, and they have a very unique hind foot as well. So you might want to just watch me draw this because it's really difficult to draw with all those dots and they'll just get in the way. So first they have a very, almost like what our big toe would be. It's kind of very small and doesn't go too far. It's not too significant, almost kind of not one of their most significant digits. And then they have this other digit that sort of goes off. This first and second digit are fused, so they actually kind of look like this. So they'd be actually kind of fused together. They both have nails on them, pretty big ones. This double digit or this fused digit there has some really great gripping power there, so there we go. And then they have the remaining digits, the other two would sort of, you know, come off a little bit distinct from those. And then we'll just kind of complete that back side of the foot there. So it looks pretty good. So we've got our 3 nails there. There's no real big nail on that sort of residual, that very small little big toe, like, or there in case little toe. And then, you know, you can add some little details here. Again, you're drawing a playful drawing, so, you know, we're not necessarily trying to teach how to draw something for a field guide. We're just trying to have some fun with this. So that looks pretty good. So we'll basically put the tree branch kind of coming off right over here. So to do that, I'm just going to put a straight line. So I'll use this dot up at the right there on the wrist and this dot down here by the foot, and just draw a kind of straight line. And then from down here at the bottom of the foot near the heel, I'll draw another 2 dots and make a sort of straight line there. So that's looking pretty good. And then up here, I'll just kind of put a dot maybe where that digit is, and then a dot over here, just kind of connect that. And then on this side, we're going to do a big long one here, sort of maybe right up to there. So there we got this kind of big branch. And then maybe we'll just take this off in a different direction here. And then I'm almost going to make like a letter V here by just making 2 more straight line dots there. That looks pretty good. So on this koala here, we're going to finish the rest of this sort of animal here. So we'll have a little bit of just a curved line to connect that. Now his other arm would be sort of going off around the tree. So we'll just kind of put a straight line there, bring that around. For the belly, we'll just sort of, you know, bring that back over. And then since I've got a nice handy eraser here, I'll kind of just erase out a little bit of my drawing there. And a little bit, maybe right about there. And we're going to put just the digits that you would maybe see sort of coming around the other side. So I just want to watch me do this. I'm just going to kind of do that by making like a little oval there, another one over here, and another one over there. So that's kind of the hand on the other side. The other digits would be covered up by the tree, what we're seeing here. And maybe again, we'll see a little bit of that foot doing the same thing. So I'm just kind of making these little ovals just on the other side of the tree there. And there we go. We've got, maybe I'll only do 2 there. So I'll just erase that off. There we go. And there we go. We've got a nice looking koala there. He's all ready to hang on this tree. We've talked about a decent bit about the koala. They're a pretty fascinating, unique type of marsupial. They're kind of in their own genus all by themselves. But again, other marsupials like the koala would be things like kangaroos, wombats, and you'd also have the Tasmanian devils, another very popular one. And of course, there's others, a long list of them, but those are some of the ones that you would certainly know. Okay, well, we hope you enjoyed drawing your koala with us today. We'd love to see how yours turned out. You can share that with us using the hashtag #MintySketch. And if you're, need help from a parent, have them post it for you online using that hashtag to your favorite social media. That way we can all share and check it out. Also, why not, when you post it, throw out some facts about this animal that you learned from our video today, or some that you maybe know already yourself. And remind people that animals like this could use a little bit of conservation help for sure. So again, if you like this video, please give it a like. If you enjoy these videos, you can subscribe to our channel to keep updated on future videos. And we appreciate the support. And we hope to see you again here on a future episode of How to Draw Awesome Animals with your friends at Peppermint Narwhal.